So I've been coaching now for 4.5 years. And in that time, I've been seeing one-on-one clients mostly. I've done a bit of group coaching, but that was more in a corporate setting. So I've been mostly working with clients one-on-one and using quite an old school business model of, you pay for one coaching session, you do one coaching session, and that type of thing. So you basically take it session by session, and in each session you're like, what do you want to talk about? The person says what they want to talk about, and we work on that. But what's happened is in the last 4.5 years, I've really noticed a pattern of the people that come my way and the things that they talk about. And more than that, I've noticed a pattern of what actually helps them. So when I think back to my favorite clients that I've loved working with, the thing that brings me the most joy and the most energy is watching people who have amazing senses of humor, who are a little bit weird, because I'm a little bit weird too, and that's cool, is watching them create change in their life by taking action. I love working with action takers, and there's 2 reasons I love that. Firstly, it's so inspiring. It is so, I cannot explain to you how much joy it brings me to see someone say, I really want to start, growing a spiritual practice. And then the next time I see them, they're like, hey, I meditated 3 times since I last saw you. It was amazing. I'm going to keep doing it. Small thing, big impact. Okay. It brings me so much joy to see people taking action to change their lives. And by the way, I'm not saying meditation is the answer to everything, but it is certainly a good place to start. The other reason I find it so impactful is that it inspires me to keep taking action, because I'm human just like you guys, and I also go through my challenges, and I think I share a lot of that pretty openly and vulnerably with you, because I want to model to you what being on this personal growth journey looks like and the things that have been helping me. So when I see my clients really excelling and taking things seriously and growing from that, it inspires me to keep doing the work. So it's like this 2-way benefit, okay, which is really cool. And I love that. It epitomizes the co-creative space. It's like I've got as much to learn from you as you do from me. It's a really beautiful shared experience. So anyway, so I've been coaching for 4.5 years now. And so from that, I've figured out the things that I really love to work with people on. And this is what it comes down to. Most clients are a lot like me. They are natural caretakers. Sorry, most of my favorite clients, I know you're not meant to have favorites, but the people I love working with, they're a lot like me. They naturally take care of other people. They put other people's feelings first. They put other people's needs first. Sometimes they're actually mothers or fathers. Sometimes they're teachers. Sometimes they are not. They're in the corporate world. But the common factor there is that they put other people first. And what happens as a result of that is they end up neglecting themselves. And so they're low on energy, they're exhausted, they feel unseen, they feel not important, and they don't realize that the reason that's happening is because they're allowing it to. And it's quite a harsh truth, but the people who can accept that truth and do something about it are the people that create massive change in their lives. And like I said, this isn't a sprint, it's an ongoing practice. But seeing a coach can really help you start to actually hold yourself accountable to begin to show up differently, to start doing things differently in your relationships and in your day-to-day life and decisions. So if you are someone who is continuously looking after everybody else and neglecting yourself, if you are someone who is smart and scrappy and naturally empathic and a little bit of a weirdo and has a great sense of humor, if you are interested in spirituality and you want to grow that part of you, if you are naturally drawn to personal development, I'm your person, okay? And you are my person. So they say your vibe attracts your tribe, and that's very much my vibe. That's what I'm about. And you're probably also a little bit fearless. Like maybe you get the urge to run away and live on a Greek island, and you probably might have done that at some point in your life, you know, because when you're excited by things, you get really brave. I know certainly I did that. I literally went and ran away and lived on a Greek island when I worked for Kontiki, and it was so much fun, but it didn't really solve any of my problems. So if that's you, if you have this need to help people, but it feels a little bit compulsive, and you want to work with that, and you want to change that narrative to be like, I know I'm here to serve and help people. I know I'm here to empower people, but I don't want to do it because I need to for validation. I want to do it because I want to, because I have a gift for that. If that's something you want to work with, then you're someone I want to work with. Okay. So what my coaching program looks like is it's 3 months long, and during that time, at the beginning we'll meet once a week, and then we'll start meeting fortnightly after that. And what it looks like is, like, every session will be different with each client. I'm a coach at heart, and coaches don't tell you what to do or what to talk about. That's not how it works. But I can promise that there are certain key topics and areas of focus that we will spend time going over, because those are the things that kind of complete this picture of changing your life. And I've written them down so I don't leave anything out, so that's what I keep referring to. Okay, so the first thing that we will look at is, where are you now and where do you want to be? Because getting very honest about what your current reality is, and getting really inspired and excited about what you want your reality to look like, is so helpful. And realizing how big the gap is in between those things. Like, a reality check is a very important part of the process. And that can be hard, but it can also be quite exciting, because visualizing your future is like, ooh, what do I want? Okay, so that's where we start. Then we move to the limiting beliefs. What is holding you back? What are those stories that you keep telling yourself about why you can't have all those things that you want to have, or why you can't be the person that you know you really are? So what are those limiting stories that are keeping you, that are driving you to put other people first and to neglect your own needs? We'll look at that. Then I have a special type of session which I don't do with all my clients, but I've decided I'm going to bring that in to every coaching program going forward, because I know how powerful and effective it is. And it's called a soul story session. And it's longer. It's like double, triple the length, depends on the person, but sometimes double or triple the length of a normal session. And what this is, it's a very intuitive process where I tap into your body's energy and I find the story that your soul has to tell me. And what we're actually doing in this is we're addressing old stored trauma. So your body kind of tells a story that is a perfect metaphor for this thing that actually happened, and that's like holding you back now. So we do the soul story session, and in it we allow that trapped energy to come to light, and we work with it and we process it. And yes, this can be done long distance via Zoom, because I've done it and it works. Okay. So that'll be part of the journey, is bringing up some of that stored trauma and allowing it to process and release. Very cathartic. Getting to know yourself on a deeper level. So you'd be amazed. So many people don't know what their values are. They don't know what's important to them. They don't know what they enjoy doing, or how they want to spend their time, or what their dreams are. So getting to know yourself better is such an important part of the process. And not just the good stuff, the bad stuff too. Not that anything's bad about you, but you know what I mean? Like the stuff that, like the default behavior that holds you back, the compulsive stuff. So getting to know all sides of you and accepting all sides of you, because doing shadow work is no joke. Like looking at the deepest, darkest, dingiest parts of you is scary, but so worth it. And learning to love and accept all of that. So we're going to get to know you on a very intimate level. Holistic self-care, of course, to support you. So starting to actually put into practice some of this daily, I call them daily rituals rather than routine, because routine sounds boring to me. Whereas a ritual feels like a sacred thing that you have to do every day because it's that important. So putting in place some daily rituals that are going to support you while you're on this journey. So that's definitely a big part of it. Being mindful in the moment. So really learning to follow those 3 steps that I always talk about. Having awareness in the moment, practicing the pause, and choosing a new response. So that is something we'll talk about at length, and you'll start putting into practice so that you can come back and talk about how it went. And it's practice, it's ongoing. you don't get it right every time, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. So being mindful in the moment is something we cover. And lastly, connecting with your inner wisdom. So I've told you already about that, that part of you, your intuition, your inner wisdom. Like I said before, the more time you spend connecting with that part of you, the easier it is to make decisions, the easier it is to know the way forward, the easier it is to show up authentically in your relationships. So we will absolutely establish and strengthen your relationship with your inner wisdom. And that's also just about trusting yourself, knowing, loving, trusting yourself. So it's part of the journey. The point of seeing a coach is that you have that ongoing accountability. It keeps it in the forefront of your mind because it's so easy to do something once and then forget about it and never go back to it again. Whereas if you're checking in with someone every week or every second week, it's in your conscious awareness. You're going to keep doing it because you're going to see me and you're going to, I'm going to ask you how it went. And so if you're like, oh no, I didn't do anything, that's not going to feel very good, multiple times. So having an accountability buddy, which is me, really helps you show up. And gets you into the habit of holding yourself accountable so that you can start doing that for yourself. Because coaching's not meant to be a forever thing, okay? Self-development and growth and the work is an ongoing thing, but needing a coach shouldn't be an ongoing thing. So that's why this is a 3-month program. It's enough to do a lot of work and to get yourself into a very different place so that when you start, you're probably quite anxiously trying to please everybody in your life and live up to the expectations of others. And by the time you've finished, you're feeling a lot more in alignment with your authentic self. You know who you are, and you're starting to bring that person out into the world. So that's really what my program is. It's a little bit different from how I've been coaching before because it's a little bit more directed and we've got those kind of touch points to go through. But I know that this is a process that works because I've seen it work. I have so many testimonials from incredible clients who have been brave, so brave to show up and implement the changes and really see positive results from that. So I'll be sharing some of those with you in the next week. But on my Instagram, under highlights, if you go onto my profile under highlights, you'll see there's one that says client love, and I've saved a bunch of testimonials there from people. So you can see what kind of change is actually possible from reading through those testimonials. And I'm excited. I'm excited to work with people in a different way. I'm excited to take them through this process that I know works. I'm excited to bring in my full self and all the different aspects, all the training that I've had. I cannot tell you how much training and experience over the last 5 years since I started my training. To bring in the different elements that make me unique as a coach. So the coactive coaching style, honoring that you are the expert in your life. You are creative, you are resourceful, you are whole. And I'm going to hold that for you until you can believe it for yourself. Bringing in the spiritual practices, doing the body work, doing the soul story sessions, practicing EFT, meditation, all of that stuff, connecting with your inner wisdom, so important. Bringing in transactional analysis. So part of the program is actually looking at some of the core models from TA, which is basically about human relationship dynamics. And it's about what's going on at a deeper level when you're interacting with people. So particularly when we're looking at limiting beliefs and those stories you tell yourself that hold yourself back, the way that those show up right now is usually in relation to somebody else. So learning a little bit of TA theory can really help give you this very clear picture on what it is that's happening in those relationships. So if you know that you're drawn to relationships where you're the person who gives the most and it's exhausting, or you just have zero boundaries, you'll do anything for anyone and it's exhausting, then TA is going to be so powerful for you, so impactful. So it's bringing together all of that stuff, the mindset stuff, the daily awareness of what is going on, how are you showing up, and choosing to show up differently. I could babble on about it for hours because I'm so excited about it. But if you are interested, then please book a discovery call with me. So this is a free 30-minute conversation where we'll get to chat about where you're at and if my program is going to be a good fit for you. So yeah, book that in and let's chat. Coaching is an investment, so it doesn't come cheap, but I do offer payment plans, and especially for South Africans, because I've got quite an international audience, but I know that in South Africa we've got a very different economic reality than in the rest of the world. So yeah, book a call and let's chat about it. And if you have any questions in the meantime, please do let me know.